Okay, so you want to be a laundry worker and you've got an interview coming up.
That's great.
We're going to help you prepare by diving deep into some common interview questions today.
Yeah, this is going to be fun.
So let's jump right into it. Um, what if they ask something like, how did you become interested in pursuing a career in laundry work?
I think with that question, they're really looking to see what your motivation is.
Right, like why this job?
Exactly.
Uh,
So you don't want to just say, I need a paycheck.
of course not.
You want to think about what genuinely interests you about this role.
Okay, I see.
Like maybe you're passionate about sustainable cleaning practices, or you find it really satisfying to take something that looks old and make it look like new again.
Oh, like reviving a garment.
Exactly. That's a much better answer than just saying you need the money.
Right. It shows you've actually thought about it.
Yeah, and that you care about the work.
Okay, so you've answered that question well, and then they ask, that's interesting. Can you tell me about a time you had to deal with a particularly difficult stain?
Oh, they're definitely testing you with that one.
How so?
They want to see how you handle challenges, what your problem-solving skills are like.
So what's the best way to answer that?
Tell a story. A specific story about a time you faced a tough stain and how you tackled it.
Okay, so like, did you try different solutions, or maybe you did some research online?
Exactly. Or maybe you asked a colleague for advice, or even experimented with different techniques until you found something that worked,
Right. It shows you don't give up easily.
and that you're willing to learn.
Now, I know RoleCatcher's AI can help with this kind of interview prep, right?
Absolutely. It's like having a personal coach in your pocket.
Oh, wow. In my pocket. That's handy.
Right. With RoleCatcher, you can actually practice answering these types of questions, and the AI will analyze your response.
So it's giving you feedback?
Exactly. It'll tell you if you're being clear and concise, if your tone is right, and it even suggests ways to improve your answer.
That's incredible. So it's like a mock interview, but with artificial intelligence.
Pretty much. It's a game changer for interview prep.
Okay, so moving on. Let's say they ask you, how do you handle large loads of laundry?
Ah, that's a classic.
What are they trying to figure out with that question?
They want to know about your organizational skills and your ability to manage your time effectively.
Because doing laundry efficiently is all about good organization.
Absolutely. So this is your chance to talk about your systems. Maybe you have a specific way you sort laundry or pre-treat stains.
Or even the way you load the machines.
Right. Anything that shows you're thinking about efficiency and preventing problems.
So even something as simple as saying, I always sort by color and fabric type to avoid any mishaps, would be good.
Exactly. It shows you're detail-oriented and proactive.
Okay, so they might even follow up with something like, have you ever had to manage a particularly hectic period, maybe with a rush of orders?
Oh, yeah. They love those situational questions.
So what's the best way to handle that?
Think about a time when you had to prioritize tasks, maybe even delegate responsibilities to make sure everything got done on time.
But it doesn't even have to be from a previous job, right?
Right. It could be from volunteering or even just how you manage a busy household.
It's about showing you can handle pressure and adapt to changing demands.
Exactly. Transferable skills are key.
So true. Okay, let's talk about safety for a minute, because I imagine that's a big deal in a laundry environment.
Absolutely. You're working with industrial equipment and sometimes hazardous chemicals.
Right, so how should someone prepare for questions about safety?
They might ask something straightforward like, have you ever had to work with hazardous chemicals or substances?
And if you haven't?
Even if you haven't, it's important to show that you understand safety protocols.
Okay, so you could mention things like proper ventilation, wearing protective gear, and always following instructions carefully.
Exactly. It shows you prioritize safety for yourself and those around you.
And if you do have experience handling hazardous materials,
Then definitely share how you've done so responsibly.
like maybe you had to mix cleaning solutions according to specific ratios or follow strict disposal procedures.
Exactly. It all comes back to demonstrating your commitment to safety.
Now, even though it might not seem like, customer service is probably important in this role too,
Oh,
right?
absolutely. You might interact with clients directly or need to handle customer inquiries.
So how should someone answer a question like, how would you handle a customer complaint about a damaged garment?
Oof, that's a tough one.
It is, because you want to be empathetic to the customer, but you also have to represent the company.
Right. It's all about finding that balance. So first, you want to listen attentively to the customer's complaint without getting defensive.
Oh.
And then you could say something like, I understand your frustration. let me take a look at the garment and your order details so I can investigate this further.
That sounds good.
Yes.
It shows you're taking their complaint seriously.
And it buys you some time to figure out the best course of action.
Smart. Now, I know we talked about RoleCatcher before, but can you remind me again how their AI can help with these tricky customer service situations?
Oh, for sure. RoleCatcher's AI is great for practicing different customer service scenarios.
Oh, that's cool.
You can actually role-play different situations and get feedback on your approach.
So like a virtual customer.
Kind of. The AI analyzes your tone, your language, and even suggests different ways to phrase your responses.
Wow. So it's like having a customer service coach on demand.
Exactly. And that can be incredibly valuable when you're dealing with a potentially stressful situation.
It takes the guesswork out of it and helps you feel more confident.
Exactly. Preparation is key to acing those interview questions.
And speaking of preparation, we're going to dive into even more questions in the next part of this deep dive.
So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after a quick break. And we're back with more interview prep.
All right, so let's dive into another common interview question. They might ask something like, can you describe a time you had to work as part of a team to achieve a common goal?
Teamwork. It's so important in almost any job these days.
It really is.
Yeah.
So what are they listening for when they ask this question?
They want to know if you're a team player, basically. Can you collaborate effectively? Do you communicate well? Can you contribute positively to a team?
Right, makes sense. So how do you answer that in a way that really stands out?
Don't just say, I'm a team player. Everyone says that.
Right.
Give them a specific example, a story about a time you worked on a team and what your role was.
So this could be from a previous job.
It could be, or from volunteering, or even a team sport or a group project in school.
Okay, so anything where you worked collaboratively with others.
Exactly. And the key is to highlight what you did specifically that contributed to the team's success.
Not just what the team achieved as a whole.
Right. Like maybe you took on extra responsibility, or you helped resolve a conflict, or you came up with a creative solution to a problem.
That's great advice. Okay, now for a question that always makes people a little nervous.
Yeah.
What are your salary expectations for this role?
Oh, yeah. That one can be tricky.
It can. That's the best way to approach it.
Research.
Okay, so do your homework.
Exactly. Before the interview, look up typical salaries for laundry workers in your area. You can use online resources like RoleCatcher's Salary Guide.
So you have a realistic idea of what to expect.
Right. And then you can confidently give a salary range that's in line with your experience and the responsibilities of the job.
So you're not lowballing yourselves or going in way too high.
Exactly. And if you're really not comfortable giving a specific number, you can always say something like, I'm open to discussing a salary that's competitive and reflects my experience and the responsibilities of the role.
That's a good one to have in your back pocket.
Yeah.
Okay, now I want to circle back to something we touched on earlier, career growth.
Yeah.
You mentioned there's actually quite a bit of room for advancement in the laundry industry, which I have to admit surprised me.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that. They think laundry worker and that's it. But there are actually lots of different paths you can take.
That's so cool. So it's not just a job, it's a potential career.
Exactly. For example, you could specialize in stain removal.
Oh, like become a stain removal expert.
Exactly. You could be the go-to person for getting out those really tough stains.
Like a stain whisperer.
I love that. Stain.
Yeah, or if you're more into the technical side of things.
You could become a laundry machine technician.
Oh, wow. So you'd be the one fixing and maintaining all those big machines.
Yep. You'd need some extra training and certifications, but it's a great career path.
And then there's always the management track, right?
Absolutely. As you gain experience, you could become a supervisor or even a manager.
So you could be running the whole laundry operation.
Exactly. So you see, there's a lot more to this industry than meets the eye.
There really is.
Okay.
Okay, let's get back to those interview questions. What if they ask something like, how do you ensure that laundry equipment is properly maintained and serviced?
That's a good one. It shows they're looking for someone who's responsible and proactive.
Because if the equipment breaks down, everything grinds to a halt.
Exactly. So you want to talk about your approach to preventative maintenance? Mention things like cleaning lint traps, inspecting hoses for leaks, and listening for any unusual noises?
Basically being observant and taking care of the equipment.
Right. And if you've ever worked with technicians or have any knowledge of more specialized maintenance procedures, definitely mention that.
It shows you're not afraid to get your hands dirty.
And that you understand the importance of keeping everything running smoothly.
Now, for a question that I think is really interesting, how do you stay up to date with industry trends and advancements in laundry technology?
Oh, I like that question.
It's not something you'd expect to hear in every interview.
True. But it's a great opportunity to show that you're passionate about this industry and you're always learning and growing.
So how would you recommend someone answer that?
Talk about how you stay informed. Do you read any industry publications?
Or attend workshops or webinars?
Exactly. Or maybe you're part of an online forum or community where laundry professionals share tips and advice.
And don't forget about those resources from RoleCatcher.
Oh yeah, RoleCatcher is a gold mine of information. They've got tons of articles and guides on the latest industry trends and technologies.
So if you mention that you're using those resources...
It shows you're proactive and committed to staying ahead of the curve.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit and talk about a question that's all about handling those tricky customer interactions. Imagine a customer brings in a garment that's clearly been damaged, but they claim it wasn't like that when they dropped it off. How would you handle the situation?
Ooh, that is a tough one.
It is. You don't want to accuse the customer of lying, but you also have to protect the company.
Exactly. It's all about finding that balance. So first, take a deep breath and remind yourself to stay calm and professional.
Don't get defensive.
Right. Listen to the customer's concerns, empathize with their frustration, and then explain the company's policies and procedures for handling damaged garments.
Okay, so you're acknowledging their feelings, but also setting clear boundaries.
Exactly. And if you need to, you can always offer to escalate the issue to a manager.
That's a good idea.
Mm,
Sometimes it's best to let someone else handle those really escalated situations.
absolutely. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here, but we've got even more interview prep coming up in the next part of our deep dive.
So stick around, because we're about to reveal the ultimate secret weapon for acing those interview questions. All right, we are back and ready to reveal the secret weapon.
Drum roll, please.
Okay, I'll bite. What is it?
RoleCatcher's AI. It's not just for researching salaries and industry trends.
Oh, right. We talked about that before.
It can actually help you practice for your interview.
Really? Like how?
They have this amazing AI-powered interview simulator.
Okay, that sounds intense.
It's actually super easy to use. You just answer common interview questions, and the AI analyzes your responses.
So it's like having a personal interview coach, but virtual.
Exactly. And it gives you personalized feedback.
What kind of feedback?
It looks at everything.
Yeah.
Your clarity, your tone, your pacing, even your body language if you're doing a video interview.
Yeah, that's impressive. So it's really comprehensive.
It is, and it helps you identify areas where you can improve.
So you can go into that interview feeling super confident.
Exactly. You'll be prepared for anything they throw at you.
That's amazing. So RoleCatcher's AI is really like a game changer for anyone who's feeling nervous about job interviews.
100%. It takes all the guesswork out of it.
I love it. Well, I think we've covered just about everything someone needs to know to ace their laundry worker interview.
We've gone from A to Z on this one.
We've talked about what the job really entails, the most common interview questions, how to answer them effectively, and even how to use AI to boost your chances of success.
We even threw in some career advice.
We did. Because remember, this isn't just about getting a job, it's about starting a career.
And there's so much potential for growth in this industry.
Absolutely. So to all our listeners out there who are ready to take the next step,
Go for it.
do your research, practice your answers, and don't forget to check out those amazing resources from RoleCatcher.
You've got this.
And on that note, we're going to wrap up this deep dive. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.